Well, hi everyone. We are at a very, very busy Consensus 2026 in Miami, and it's been a lot of fun. And I would say one way that it feels a bit different to me this year is that it has a very institutional vibe. And so we have Daniel here from Bamboo Block to speak to us about really what's the state of institutional investment right now in crypto, and especially the solutions that people are building on top. But maybe first, Daniel, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So my name is Daniel Fair. I'm the founder of Bamboo Block. We're Florida-based here, pretty locally. We're out of Tampa, and we're a boutique firm, so we really help kind of navigate institutional clients through that process. They have a lot of questions. We also focus squarely on the middle market, so the underserved kind of middle market of America and a lot of the banking sector. So we work specifically as well with community banks, right? And they don't have crypto native teams and all that, so that's what we help them with.
Got it. So when institutions really turn to you, like what would you say really drives them to seek help first and foremost?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a few leverage things that is starting to kick in, right? So obviously with the Genius Act last year, that was a big moment in time to open up the door for early adopters. And then, you know, the remittance piece, right, is a big one. That comes up quite a bit. Custody of digital asset from high net worth individuals is coming up internally in these banks. They don't really know how to solve it or what to do with that. So they have these questions, and a lot of them are stuck on zero. And so they kind of reach out to their network, and we've been able to work with SEC-regulated financial partners and also partner very closely with them. So a lot of it is good old-fashioned relationships, and who knows who they trust in this space. There's a lot of pitches, there's a lot of pitch decks out there, but it comes down to, ultimately, if you have that one relationship that kind of starts opening doors, that starts to open more doors.
Right. Yeah. And so, in your conversations, what would you say, like, is maybe the first misconception that these people have, that institutions have when they go into the space? You don't have to name any names, but what's the first?
Yeah, it really depends on where the board is and where the executives are. Some of them are still very apprehensive with crypto in general. When you say coin, even stable coin or something like that, some of them have a lot of questions to just get past the regulatory and the compliance piece. Okay. So we usually can, within about 30 minutes, kind of get them to a more comfortable level. Hey, these are very legitimate, stablecoin issuers, the wallet providers. The things, a lot of them are concerned about reputational risk, right? So these things, they understand the advantages of blockchain, but there's for good reason, right? I mean, they move slow, and we have to just kind of work through usually the regulatory compliance piece. Then we can get into the technology stack. And then the advantages, and then why this solution is going to be good for them and their customer base at the end. And then it kind of starts to flip the conversation. But it is definitely an educational walkthrough.
I see. And so like, if we have some institutional players watching this video, what would you say is like the homework that they need to do before they really like step into this and they start thinking about this? Like, do they contact you immediately, or you'd send them some schoolwork?
Some a questionnaire, so to speak. We've actually talked about that, right? To really try to help them kind of narrow what it is they're trying to solve, right? So in our example with community banks, are they most interested? A lot of them have exposure to Latin America, right? Do they just want to eliminate some of the SWIFT fees and be able to take advantage of that? So is it a cost savings mechanism that they're most interested in? Just for even bank-to-bank transfers, there's that. There's the speed piece of the float, right? And having the partner yield with the stable coins. That is interesting once you get to the treasury and the CFO crowd. But that is not always what the risk and compliance teams in the banks are kind of focused on. But really the use case then is business clients. So really bank levels first, bank to bank, then business clients, right, B2B. So businesses that need to send invoice payments faster, better, cheaper to their suppliers or whatever it may be in Latin America. And then kind of the big underbelly is remittances, right? So how does that actually work inside the banking application layer? They have their core servers, they have Fiservs, they have Jack Henrys, they have Q2 on top of that. How does all that kind of package together? And then you have a lot of the IT challenges, right? Banks are notoriously air-gapped on purpose. right?
Yeah.
And so you have to figure out how do you create a more technical solution to that can be adopted directly into their bank without them having to, take on a lot of additional risk.
And is it like usually you think the internal teams technically can handle the complexity, or is it something that has
Yeah, it depends on the bank size for sure, right? So some of them have pretty robust IT teams that are pretty comfortable with IP integrations and kind of bolt-ons. They do this a lot with fintech applications. So that is an easier road. Some of them are certainly smaller, so they really want to extract away as much as possible. So the on-ramps, the off-ramps, the orchestration pieces, exactly how does our money, that most of them are still going to do a wire or ACH to the stablecoin provider to kind of kick off that process, get those stablecoins minted and so forth. And then we have a kind of a multi-pronged approach depending on their tech stack, depending on who they're using, right? And so who is their kind of middleware software and what does that look like? And then how comfortable are they kind of going out on the risk curve, but that also starts to enhance the economic value of it as well, right? Especially if they want to do their own coin, right? They get the full partner yield, but most of them right now at least are talking about kind of off-the-shelf products.
Right. Okay, well, if we take a crystal ball and look a few years from now, say 2030 consensus, you're here, what does that future look like for the institutional players? Is the market finally mature? Are we moved on to some other narratives, or what are you sort of thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I do think stablecoins is here to stay, right? Obviously, hopefully we get Clarity Act passed here soon. Genius finally gets the final rules this summer. Yeah, we get everything finally turned on live from a compliance standpoint by the end of this year. January, I think, is the latest for compliance, or the Genius Act, I'm sorry, to kind of kick in the rules and the road, so to speak. So I think stablecoins are definitely here to stay. I think the adoption continues to increase quite a bit the back half of this decade. The other space that we work in, and it's still very early in this space, but it's tokenized equities, right? But true native tokenization, not wrappers, not the things that are out there. It's true native tokenization that TAs can truly, have subscribed to an individual, and it goes with them, right? So I think between stablecoins, tokenized securities, the folks over here at DTCC was talking about, collateralizing the treasuries, right? And then folks can lend against that, right? And these are huge sums of money that people have big spots in, and then they can take what has just been parked capital, and then they can recollateralize that to kind of stretch that out, right? Yeah. And so I think that is three big paths between, obviously the tokenization of treasuries and tokenized deposits, tokenized securities and equities, and the stable coins, as I would say, is just really going to be three big, paths that I see over the next several years going forward.
Nice, yeah. So if someone wants to join the bandwagon into that future, where can they get in touch with you so you can help them out?
Yeah, that's great. So bambooblock.io is our website, so you can go there, you can check it out. Telegram, bamboo_block, pretty easy on that front. So you can find me either of those places. Also, we're on X as well, so you can find us over there under Bamboo Block.
So we'll leave those links in the description, and really appreciate you taking the time to join us, and I'm sure our audience does too. So thanks a lot, and thanks guys for watching.
All right, thank you.